My dear colleagues, good evening. Today we are here to discuss level 1 of AICA course. This is a you know recording that I am doing for the purpose of the FDP program, and I have selected a level 1 for this purpose to do a recording and for submission. Now, if you know the background of AICA, which has been instituted by the institute, which is as a AI committee was brought in by institute, and they have brought in the course called AICA Level 1. This was sometime almost more than a year back when the AI committee of ICAI decided to bring in such a wonderful course, right? So, what is the purpose for this course and all? We will look at it, but I can only say that institute has always been ahead in making sure that the chartered accountants are empowered with whatever the new things that is happening. And it's a great service that the institute is doing to the profession as a whole. It's really commendable to make us ensure that we are up to date with the latest changes. And here is something which is totally different from our DNA, which has become the need of the hour. In fact, you remember sometime almost 23, 23 years back, when the need was for the DISA qualification, the institute came up with their own course. CISA was there. A lot of members were wanting to do CISA. But then the institute brought its own DISA course, and that was a great success. And as a result, the members at large have got so much of work, especially in the banking field, because of that qualification. So institute has held up. Then similarly, when concurrent audit came, they brought in the certificate course. When GST came, the GST certificate course, and so on. So many of them have come in. But today, with the change that has happened the last 2, 3 years, especially after OpenAI has come, you must be aware that there is a tremendous requirement of updation for the members. And that is the reason why this AI committee was formed within the institute at the Central Council level. And they have brought in this wonderful course called AICA Level 1. And some of you may be aware that even institute has now started the level 2 also. So the idea behind this, as it says very clearly, that it is purely to make sure that a course to very clearly, aptly put, a course to empower the CAs with AI skills. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? Now, let us move on of what is in store for us. It's very interesting today because we are going to learn a lot of terms which we were not knowing about it. And it is basically a preliminary thing. No, we don't have to just to know about it so that we develop our, area of expertise and or at least the awareness part of it, so that we are not left with, not knowing certain terms which some people are talking about. So let us wait what, yeah. Now, this is a welcome to the first day. And what are the things that are the basic things that are required to be knowing about this course is something which is given here. I'm not going to deal too much about it, but in brief, what we need to know is what is the purpose of the course. The purpose of the course is to ensure that we are able to spread the awareness of the DA about digital transformation and AI to make members tech aligned. It has already started. As I said, DISA was there. That is also a part of audit which was required. Then what are the relevant tools that can be used for automating the daily official and professional work? Obviously, if you are in this course, definitely you need to join the WhatsApp group that has been created specifically for this particular batch, because that participation is mandatory because all the communications happens to this. Then you have to carry your mobile because the institute will provide wherever you're doing it the wireless connection, but sometimes you may not be getting it because so many people may be using that. So it is better to have your own hotspot so that you can, connect through the hotspot to the Wi-Fi network. You should engage in all the activities and case discussions. You have to log into the DLH portal, the learning portal, and access the course. Every day there is a daily assessment that happens, and you have to do it between 5 and 10 after the class is over. Ideally, it is better to complete it in the after the class in the this premises itself, so that you don't miss out. Otherwise, when you go back home, something urgent will come up, and you may miss out on completing the assignments. Now, apart from that, a group of 4 members will be assigned in alphabetical order. What is the purpose? At the last day, you are supposed to do a presentation on day 3. And for that, you have to prepare a 5-minute presentation in a combined manner, and you are supposed to present it. And they carry marks. Now, in that particular presentation, these are the 4 heads in which you are supposed to present: process solution, technology use, challenges, and benefit. All this, mind you, it's not difficult. You'll have to think through and put your knowledge, domain knowledge into it, and try to make a presentation. I'm sure 4 people, if they get together, they can do wonderful things. Then you got the daily attendance, which is definitely must. It is mandatory, and for you to get the digital sequence, obviously the group presentation and online assessment is also mandatory. Okay. Now, let us move on. What is the 1 second? Let me clear this up. So I try to use this or the other way of writing because this is getting a little delayed. So I don't want to use this. Let me see. Whichever is convenient, I will use it. Just to make sure that you are with me on the understanding part of it. Now, what is the other learning objective? It is, if you look at it, this is the uh, what is the comprehension of digital, digital and AI revolution. Then certain, especially basic, basic things like advancement of GI, generative AI, NLP, and RPA, especially in the field of accounting sectors. So all these are to give you a basic understanding. Then there are certain technological foundations where you are going to look at digital transformation, cloud computing, blockchain, Web3, IoT, and other innovations. Then how to automate your office, especially with the new tools which are there using AI. So a lot of host of things you're going to know in the next 3 days, and I'm sure you will carry a lot of input to make sure that your office is much better aligned to AI and use of AI in your day-to-day work. The ultimate objective is to make us more efficient. That's the ultimate objective, right? Yeah. Now, what are the basic concepts of AI? This is something which we will have to delve a little bit. So let me just shift a little bit to another uh, PPT, which I'm going to use to explain certain concepts. So if you look at it, the some years back when there was a talk about the AI and all that, there's a lot of discussion on the value creation that it was going to do. And at that time, it was projected that almost, 13 trillion dollars is the AI value creation by year 2030. And these are the sectors that will get affected in whatever way it is getting affected. That is what was given. But again, what has happened is that in the recent survey, which is done by PwC analysis, if you look at it, PwC analysis they have done, from 2017 to 2030, the impact, how much is going to have in pound sterling, it is something very, very different with what they would have predicted, because these every day, every year, the predictions are changing. And here, if you look at it, the it is somewhere by 15 point something trillion pounds, pound sterling. So you can see that is substantially more than what was projected earlier. So all these are giving towards an idea that day by day, because as and when it is getting picked up, the volume of the effect of AI on global GDP and things like that are increasing a lot. That is the ultimate, message that we are getting from these, analysis or reports. Now, in order to understand AI, we just have to go back and sit back and understand some few terms so that we are able to get hang of it. Because otherwise, there's so much of confusion in the market to understand this. Now, what is AI? If you look at AI, there are two clear segregations. This is the narrow intelligence, artificial narrow intelligence, which is what already existing for the last couple of years. It is smart speakers, self-driving cars, web search, AI in farming and factories, and all these are already there. That's why it's called narrow, because certain reasons are there. But today we are in the situation of artificial general intelligence, AGI, where whatever a human does, the machine is trying to mimic that. That is what is the basic idea behind AGI. And trust me, because of the AGI only, what we are meeting here today. Because earlier, this narrow intelligence was already there for a long time. It is not today, but we have not bothered about it. But when AGI has come into the picture, it has to be learned by us, because this is going to impact our way of life, especially in the profession. It has already started taking an effect. So therefore, we cannot sit back and say, no, no, it is not going to affect us. It is going to affect us in a long way. And unless we try to improve our working by updating ourselves, we will be left behind. That is the basic idea behind. So let us try to improve our understanding of the subject of AI. Now, before getting into more details of AI and all that, some simple things that we need to understand. What is supervised learning? Because this is very important for us to understand so that we can build up our base properly. So, supervised learning is very simple. You give an input, say A, so that you get an output B. This is what you're going to teach a machine. If you give input A, you should give B. This is what you're supervising the learning to the machine. And as a result, it is also understanding that, right? Now, let us look at some more details about it. What is supervised learning? So if you look at supervised learning, now, if the machine is being shown pictures of cows, see cows, these are cows. This is cats, different pictures. We are just showing three. There might be a lot of pictures that are being shown. This is being, dogs. Now, by looking at it, it's able to figure out what is the type of thing each one is. And you're telling them this is all a dog, this is all a cat. Now, if you're giving showing a picture to a machine or a robo that and asking what is it, because of the supervised learning that has been given to it, it will be able to identify based on the characteristics what is understood that it is a dog. So that is what is supervised learning that we need to understand. So what is unsupervised? No, so before that, we just need to go a little bit and we'll see what are the other things. Let me push it a little bit. Okay. Now, mind you, when supervised learning is involved, we are looking at input to output. So this is more or less rule-based teaching, rule-based. We have seen these examples a lot in our normal life. For example, emails. In the email, the which we get, if there is a specific instruction that is given, If it is spam, push it to a specific folder. It is happening all the time in our emails. You have seen anything, either Gmail or you can Hotmail or whatever you are using. There is a clear instruction given to by the email provider that if you think that this is spam, they would have taught what is spam, how does it come, and based on that, if you are able to identify it as a spam, then it will go to a spam folder. That type of thing is called application is called spam filtering. Similarly, you got where audio is being converted into text. A lot of times we are seeing some softwares are doing it. Again, this is an input and this is the output. So how it is done? Because lot of data has been put into it to teach it that if you this input is there, this is the output. And as a result, you get the application speech recognition. And similarly, language. From English, you want to convert into Chinese. So the machine would have been taught so many things in that. So as a result, it's able to convert from English language to Chinese. That is what machine translation. So here all what we need to understand is our input output relationship. Results mostly these are supervised and it are rule based teachings that has been given. Similarly, other things are there which you're not going into detail. Online advertisement, self-driving cars, visual inspection, and all so many examples we can find out which we are already using it. Now, let us look at unsupervised learning. So, unsupervised learning is where you are not telling the machine exactly the way you are doing. You are just trying to tell, you know, the uh, certain things like for example this is dog but you're giving some shapes bat shape pointed shape folded ears white brown like that but you're not telling exactly this but the machine is much more advanced than the other earlier machines that we saw where if you tell if you give a dog's thing it will able to identify yes this is a dog, this is a particular dog or something like that, it will be able to identify it. So you're not giving specific instructions for it to learn. It will learn automatically. So that is where unsupervised learning comes into the picture. So it is more advanced than the other thing where supervised learning is given. It's not rule based. It has its own mind and it will able to decipher what is the thing and based on that it will take a decision. Now let us move to other thing. So the other discussion that we need to know is when data slowly started increasing, at that time the, the data was less and as a result, the performance according to that situation was much less because that is the traditional AI we were talking about. So it was the performance was much less. Slowly, what happened? Neural networks came into the picture. We'll look at it more detail. When it was small neural networks, when the performance improved. Similarly, in the next, again, when more higher amount of neural networks improved, medium size, then again it improved. And when large neural networks came into the picture, again it improved more. The performance started increasing, and I think data also was increasing. As a result, you are giving the best of situations. We are getting best performance from the system. It was able to predict more. It was able to do a lot of things which normally humans do because there was huge data was given to it, and the important thing was the neural networks also improved. Plus, one more thing you need to know is that the data size also increased a lot on which it was able to play. Therefore, the concept of big data also came. So, because of big data, why? How big data? Because if you remember some 20 years back, their mobile was not there. But today, because of the mobile and so many apps that are there, so much of data from you is flowing into the you know web, which is constituting of the big data. For example, you are using an app for shopping, say Amazon. You are using it for seeing a movie, or you are seeing YouTube. All these are generating data about you, and this is all getting fed. So, like that, you can imagine everybody is having a mobile, and this is increasing the amount of big data, which in effect is being used by these models or whatever you called it, so that the improvement has happened. Moreover, another important thing is apart from this, Another reason is the hardwares over the years have also improved, because to run such large data, it needs very new hardwares. The old hardwares will not work. The hardware things have also increased a lot. The quality of hardware has also simultaneously increased because of this. The success of these large language models has come into the picture. That is why today suddenly we are looking at that all these things were traditionally was there, but why nobody was talking about it? But why today it has suddenly become very interesting? Because of this reason. So it is not only that neural networks have improved, your big data has been increasing a lot, and then hardware is also associated with that, has come into the picture to run these programs and things like that, which will give you these results. So the multiple effects of all these have brought us to the situation where we are able to get to good quality of response from the machines. Now let us little bit look at what is data. Okay. Now, simple example of data. Now, here again, we have talked about A to B, as we saw here, A to B. The same concept we are continuing here. So when you look at data, it is a data set, right? Now, what we are looking at, ignore this for the time being, the number of bedrooms. This is the size of the house in square feet, and this is the price. So this is A, and this is B, right? Now, if it is taught based on this two things, the machine is taught. Now, if A is given, B will throw you the data. That is what is the data. So the relationship is already built based on multiple data that is fed into that, and it learns. It may be a situation where the data of A, which is given, it need not be only this. It can be both put together. Therefore, you can put this will be A and this will be B. So when it is being fed with both conditions sort of things, then only this result. So like that also it can be changed. That is what we need to understand. So data set, when it is created for the training purpose or whatever, how the machines learn, you have to give it in such a way according to your requirement. It may be a situation where you are doing the reverse, which means for a price, what is the how much square feet you get? Then what happens? It turns. This becomes A and this becomes B. So all this you need to understand. Not that we are going to do it, but at least these basic concepts helps us to ground us ourselves in good fundamentals of understanding what is the data and build up on that. Now, another idea about this, just check how it is. Another data set is like this. So you are teaching the thing. If you look at this is a cat. If you look at this, not a cat. This is look at this is a cat. This is look at this. So it is able to understand the machine. So these type of figures will be a cat. So immediately what happens if you show a figure of a cat, it will say, yes, this is a cat. If you show this, it say, no, not cat. So this is how you are training. So here also, this is A, this is B, right? So these are basic things that, build up our understanding about data and how it is being used in these models or whatever we are talking about, AI models or whatever we are talking about. Now, how do you acquire the data? Acquiring the data is various ways when we acquire data. Like, for example, there is a manual labeling where you're saying this is a cat, what you saw just now, not cat, cat, not cat, this is labeling. By it can be also through behaviors, you're observing the behaviors. For example, this is an ID. Based on this ID, this is a price and it was purchased. Yes, yes, no, no. So this data is being collected. So for this ID, for this price, it was purchased. For this, it's purchased. So this is also by observing the behavior, it can predict what is going to happen. Similarly, machines and the pressure and the temperature, whether this is resulting in a fault, this is not result in a fault. So this data will also help us to do predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance. Okay. So this is what you need to understand. So these are different types of data, and today data is available from anywhere. It can be from the web, it can be from different sources from companies, so many things. Even if you look at as a chartered accountant, we need to look at companies' data. And we'll come to that where Institute has provided us sector-wise, the industry-wise data of all the annual reports, which is available. If you want, you can take it from there and analyze it. But again, one thing you need to be careful that this data, when you look at it, it is messy. Therefore, you need to be very careful. If you don't get the data which is clean, then it's going to be problem. Therefore, what is happening? You end up in GIGO. What is GIGO? This one. If you put in garbage, you will get garbage results. If you put A, which is not good, B will also be not good. So that is very important. Everywhere we have to be very careful that we are giving the right data to the machine to get us the right results. This will be very important when we look at prompting. Very important. So all these concepts we are building up to that only. So in prompting, we will understand, if you don't give the proper prompt, you will get something. It will give you results, but it will not give you the proper results that we need. And then complaining about it doesn't make sense because we have to know how to give the prompt, then only it will understand properly. Then there is another problem, which is basically the data is there, but the problem here is that this is not okay because there's something wrong here. If you look at it for 645, only 0.001, dollars. There seems to be something wrong. This error in that value. So that's why incorrect labels. Then there are some cases where there is unknown. So with this type of data, if you look at it, what will happen? You will not get correct results. And similarly, there are different types of data where you got images are there, audio, text are there. Mind you, when you look at it, audio, images, and all are coming under the category of unstructured data. And if you look at a table like this, though there are some mistakes, this is still structured data. So that will give you an idea of what this data is all about. So we have to, if you get the right data in a structured form, it is better. Unstructured is difficult to handle. Again, to get a clarity of the data structure. Now, if you look at it, if you look at this unstructured data, how it is, university has 5,600 students. John's ID is 1. He is 18 years old, already holds a BSc degree. David is ID number 2. He is 31 years old, holds a PhD degree. Robert ID is number 3. He is 51 years old. He holds the same degree as David and it's a PhD degree. The same data, if you want to get it into a semi-structured, if you look at it, this is, I think, a XML format where see the placeholders. In this, the names are coming and the degree is coming. See, it is better than this. It's a little more structured. So that's why it's called semi-structured. But if you get it in a proper, Excel format, this we are familiar. So one ID number, John, name, age, business. This is purely structured data. So that is how we are able to understand the different types of data that is there, how it is formed, and what are the types of data, because this helps us to understand a lot of things for us. Right? Now, let us move on. Now, if you understand, now let us look at AI. AI, the word AI has been there for a very, very long time. 1 second. Yeah. AI, the word AI has been there for a very long time. If you look at it, 1950. What is this? What are we talking about? I thought AI is just recent. No, no, this is the term AI has been there for a long time. So in 1950, it was a landmark year for where question of machine intelligence came up because of Alan Turing's famous paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence. In those days, this was completely different. They would not have viewed that this time of it happening, but the term had already come into the picture. In this, the paper, Turing proposed a thought experiment called imitation game. Later, it was called Turing test. Now, again, after 50, 56, a lot of gap, there was a conference in Dartmouth organized by McCarthy that marked the birthplace of AI as a field. The term artificial intelligence was coined by John McCarthy. They were all together, McCarthy along with Turing, Minsky and all, laid the foundation for AI. So that is what you need to understand. AI is not come yesterday or something like that. The coin, it was coined long time back. So only that we are looking at it in a different way and a new way now. So let us move back to the original PPT again, because we have covered some of the part. Now let us move to the next part of it. Wait. Now, very important. Where is the industry going? And we need to understand how the industry has moved over the years. If you look at the industry one, so industry one that you look at it, what is happening? Mechanization, steam power, weaving loom. So all this happened in industry one. Which year we are talking about? Oh my God, 1784. That means I can't remember how many years back. It must be almost 1984, 1884, almost 250 years back, approximately 240 years back, something we are talking about. You can imagine that is a time when the first mechanization started, where steam power was had come in and weaving looms were started. What next? Industry two. What is it? Mass production started, especially cars, assembly lines, electric and energy all came into the picture. Now that was when 1870. So mark the time period. So almost 100 years approximately. Now let us move on. What is the next one? Industry three, where we started getting automation in some form or the other. Computers came in, not the computers that we are talking about, the mainframe computers, the large computers, and electronic as a field started developing quite a lot in that time. So that was when 1969. Again, look at the period. So almost 100 years. See, that's why those days were comfortable days. Things were changing very comfortably. Now let us look at the next. Industry 4, cyber physical systems. We look at it more. Internet of Things, networks, etc. started coming in. When? Industry 4. When was it? Today, now. That means 2025. But it started early, but I'm saying this is again what is short period. It's hardly 50 years, right? Now, so you can see that the time frame is coming down for the change that is happening. And what is going to happen in Industry 5? You can see mass customization, cyber physical cognitive systems. So it was cyber physical system, cyber physical cognitive system. That means it can make out, it can have certain other, more powerful functions which they don't have today. So that is expected in 2040. That is how the industry is going to go. We are scared what is going to happen. Next is Industry 6, quantum computing, emotionally intelligent machines. Maybe they will mimic us much more. Whether our requirement will be there or not, it's very, doubtful now. Because all these machines were not knowing one important that we have, that is emotions. So if you look at, they can show a face like that, but they will not have emotions. But today, if you look at it, of course, it's a long time, it's not much, about 25 years from now. So 2050, they are expecting that the machines will have emotions also. So this is how we are going towards it. What is going to happen at that time, we don't know. Nowadays, if you talk about robo, they do the job, they look as if, like humans, but they don't have emotions, which is one of the most important things that we have. So those are times to come. We need to understand how this we are going to manage. Thank God you're here today, at least in this course, because you have now taken seriously this whole business of AI and the changes that are happening, how it will get affected. In fact, just I want to remark when there's a book by Richard Susskind, and he has written about future of profession. It's a good book to read to understand what is going to happen to certain professions over the years. So that that is a wonderful book, and we can understand we are not very far in the list. One of the first top people who are going to get affected profession is going to be lawyers. Now, by the way, let me check if I have got a one report which is there, which was the World Economic Report. One second. Let me check if I have got it. I will tell you. No, I don't have here. Somewhere else I've said, which maybe I can check online. Uh, okay, we'll come to that later. So we are here. So let me not digress much. So in that report, what is they have told about is how each profession is going to happen, what is going to happen in the future in these professions. And obviously, bookkeeping profession is going to be a problem. Consulting, all these things are in difficulty as we see it. We don't know what's going to happen. So that's why we have to tune ourselves to adapt to the new changes. Now, how the intelligence has improved as far as machines are concerned. In 1960 to 80, you had mainframes and PCs. If you look at the earlier one, you see here computers. See, computers. This is what we are showing here. So, how these things have developed. So, at that time, what was the enabled technology? Transistors came into the picture, silicon revolution, large scale mainframe computing adoptions, emergence of PCs, and all came. PCs came a little later, but yeah, around 80s or 85 at that time, especially in the US and all, slowly started it. But it's a very raw, machines that we are talking about. It's not that PCs, yes, but not laptops. I thinking of PC. PC, yes, at that time it has come, but it was very, very, remote if you in today's world. I don't know whether you will believe it or not. Uh, in fact, I forgot to give an introduction of myself. I did my CA very long time back, somewhere in 90s, early 90s. And when I was doing my CF intermediate, I attended the three courses by ICAI at the regional council. You can imagine, I'm talking of 1989, after my CA inter, or just I had written, I had attended the CA course in 1989. And there at that time, the three courses, one was basic course, and another one was Lotus, which is the erstwhile Excel. It was earlier we used to use Lotus at that time. Then you got DBase. These are three wonderful courses we were using at that time. And in fact, all my friends laughed at me. We were doing CA. They were saying, "What you are doing CA? Why you have to do that?" But I was somehow interested. Believe me, because of that, I have been interested in technology because just for this reason. Now, other than that, I have also completed. I'm also CMA, and I have done my DISA and CISA, and I've done some of the certificate courses of the institute, like your forensic, GST, and concurrent, and all that. All those things I have done. So that's a brief introduction of me. I'm basically in tax practice. Also, for a long time, I have been teaching CA inter students. And nowadays, of course, because of change in syllabus and the way of teaching, I have not taken classes in the normal way. But there here and there, students come and take my help. I am very much interested to teach them a lot. So always I'm ready for the students. So that has actually the reason why, I'm here today also, because teaching has been a passion for me simultaneously with the profession. Because two things happen. One is you are doing a very good thing, noble thing. The students will never forget about you. The other thing is that you also learn along with that. And believe me, over the years, I have been teaching accounts for both Group 1, Group 2. I have been teaching costing. I've been teaching tax, both DT and IDT. And I have learned a lot. Even during GST time, all the learnings was because of my teaching. It was mandatory. You have to sit and learn, and you have to every day you're repeating, every year, twice at least, you are repeating it. So it has helped me. So that's a brief introduction. So what I was saying was at that time, when I was learning this, the machine, the computer which was there, which is a CPU, it had only DOS, I mean, the operating system, disk operating system, that the time it's called DOS, that was only stored here. Then there were two floppy disks drives. Can you imagine? Floppy disk, that is big type. In this, you have to insert the software. For example, I'm working in Lotus, so I have to insert Lotus software. In this, the data will be stored. That is how we started at that time. And mind you, there was no mouse. There was no mouse. Only keyboard was there. For drawing lines, you have the explanatory marks. That with that we used to draw the exclamatory marks. With that, we used to draw lines for statements and all. So what has happened over the years is phenomenal. You cannot imagine. And you're all lucky. Those who are younger, you didn't have to go through the rigors of all these difficult times. Similarly, when I came back, I was in the Middle East for some time, and when I came back and came back to India, in the place where I am presently now, I had joined my brother's practice, and there was no computer at all, no computer at all, nothing. Laptop was not there, of course. So I had brought a computer from there with which I started, using that computer because otherwise I'll be out of, work because I didn't know how to work manually. So I had to start doing all these Excel in all the statements and all. I started doing Excel and that was replicated across. And today you can see everywhere, every office is now having computers, laptops. The computers is also going away. Mostly it is laptops and a lot of things are happening in there. So anyway, that's a brief digression from what I was saying. So just for your understanding, because I should have introduced at the beginning, but I just started off. So I thought I will just give an introduction. Now, this is what we're talking about, transistors and silicon, large scale mainframes and all that. Now, in this, if you look at it, next came client server and internet when 1900s. Then adoption of PC happened very fast and broadband internet. Here also, I want to tell you when I came around the 1999 or sometime I came back to India, we had to go to a internet cafe. A lot of members would be knowing about it. We didn't have internet at our places, at our home or offices. We had to go to a particular internet cafe. At that time, it was very famous, and we have to sit there. You do a click, it will take some few minutes for the one screen to go to the next. It was that slow, but we are doing it. We didn't know anything else, so we had to do it. So those were the days when now today you can do a lot of things. But anyway, broadband internet came in and slowly business process automation started happening. In those days, you can see banks were having all manual. It was all manual. And today it is all, in what next move the cloud, very important. And mobile applications came when 2000, 2010. As a result, mobile and smartphone came into play, cloud computing happened, social networks, big data, and all has come into the picture from 2010 to 2000 to 2010. This is what has called digital transformation. A lot of things are happening, especially in the banking field and insurance field. A lot of things have happened. Now, what we are looking at is intelligent technologies like machine learning, AI, which is what we are here today. IoT, distributed computing, blockchain, intelligent enterprises. So financial profession is also evolved according to that. As I told you, even when we were using at that time, where PC was not there. Slowly, we have gone into we bought one or two PCs, three PCs, four PCs. Then we are now buying only laptops. So we have also evolved in that. We have also all our data in cloud. It is not like olden days where we are having the individual machines. So we have also evolved over that. But then still changes are happening very fast. So we have to also try to do it fast. Now, another important concept is relating to your uh, industry four. Industry four, what we looked at, this industry here, industry four, which we are at, this is what we are looking at. So, what are the components that we look at? I'll just start, cloud. We all know what is cloud. We are all having cloud space. If anybody doesn't know, I cannot accept because our emails are in cloud. Your Gmail is in cloud. Your Hotmail is in cloud. Anything that you log, it is in the cloud. We don't save it anywhere, right? It is in the cloud. Similarly, our data also is in either OneDrive or G Drive or whatever. We can keep the data there. You can save there. It's in the cloud. In simple form, you need to understand. Then another concept that has come is 3D printing. 3D printing is additive manufacturing, which is where you can print, say, a pen. You want to have a pen. If you give a design to the machine, it will print it beautifully. You don't have a problem. You can just print it easily. And 3D printing, mind you. So you get a pen. Obviously, the cost, we can't own a 3D printer that easily. I'm told even buildings are, being put up using 3D printing. So that is amazing. It's fantastic. Then there is supply chain, which we are talking about, is that one unit is having main, say for Maruti, and there are different suppliers which are coming here. And this chain is also brought in one, one ecosystem. So that is how you can. What is the reason? Because Maruti wants to supply properly. So if they are bringing everybody in that, that helps them. So that is the supply chain thing is being used. Some of the supply chains are also running on blockchain also. So these are all new things that is happening. Big data analytics, we are already seeing big data. So on when you get big data, you can also do analytics on that. That also helps. Then you got autonomous robots, autonomous robots like cars also is there. All there are certain situations where I am told some hotels are having some waiters who are robots. So they can take the order, they will bring this thing and they will take the order and they will also deliver correctly, exactly. Or maybe one waiter may come and take the order, humans will take, but the robo will come and deliver the particular thing. So this is programmed to do that. It knows where each table is and where it has to be given and the way of giving it has been trained. Next is very interesting, simulation and augmented reality, which is very interesting because what is it? It is, suppose you want to buy a car and you don't want to get out of the house. So maybe you can go to the website of the of the company, and if they have the option of doing looking at a augmented reality situation, maybe you can access it and you can see the car from inside as if you're looking at it from the inside, you as if you are sitting on it and you are trying to drive. All those things can be done. Similarly, if you are going to buy a house, obviously you will look at it, but initially if you want to just go through it, you can go to the website and they would have put some simulated and augmented flats which you can easily go through and see whether it is how it is. Or you can, if you want to buy a furniture, you want to see how it fits into in your room, you can have an augmented reality situation where it will be able to, maybe you can put your picture, upload your picture of your room, and it will fit in that room and show how it looks. The next one is horizontal and vertical integration. I have briefly touched on that because it's not very important for us, but we need to understand that because of the changes that are happening, companies are buying similar type of businesses here. Similar type, same type. That is where we call it horizontal integration. When it is vertical, that means they are not same business, but they are related to, as I told you here, the Maruti buying their ancillary units. So they are buying the suppliers. This supplier is giving to Maruti. So what it's doing, Maruti doesn't want to take a chance. So it is buying this particular or integrating this supplier to itself by way of mergers and acquisitions and things like that. So these are also happening alongside. Then we have got Internet of Things. What is Internet? We have discussed in detail, so I'm not going to that. It is called industrial, where it is industry related. It's called industrial Internet of Things. Then finally, when we are going into so much of computerization and digitization and all, hackers are waiting. See, there's a hacker here, I think. I'm not too sure. He looks like an hacker. So what is, oh no, there's the what's it, goggles or what you put for augmented reality. So, but it looks like for a hacker. So the hacker will be waiting to make sure that he gets some point where he can get into that. I am sure not sure whether you have seen some social engineering techniques where a lady is trying to holding a crying baby and she's talking to somebody, and through that She's getting the details of the entire bank account and password from a particular person's wife by getting all the details, and that is social engineering. Similarly, there are so many phishing is there. Then you got now that, what is it called? Uh, that digital arrest. All these are happening, right? So we all know. So hackers are playing havoc in whatever way they are forming. Naturally, to safeguard that, cyber security also is an important area of the industry for today. Because without, so now we are looking at what is AI basically, right? Now, if you look at it, we just so before that, we were looking at, yeah, this one. This is where we stop. So here, if you look at it, cybersecurity is very, very important because cybersecurity is if you don't have cybersecurity, all these systems can be compromised. Therefore, this is a very, very important component of the entire industry force. So we have to be very careful. Now, let us look at what is artificial intelligence, which is what is the core thing we are talking about. So, in simple terms, anything that mimics humans is AI. So if you want to understand it, see, if AI systems is a machine-based system that is explicit or implicit, it is have for that is objectives are implicit or explicit, infers from input. That's what we discussed. A, which is what it said. How to generate outputs. B, such as predictions, content, recommendation, decisions that can influence physical and virtual environments. Different AI systems vary in their autonomy and adaptiveness after deployment. Let us move further. Artificial intelligence is an advanced computing technology that enables computers, machines, and devices to simulate human learning. Simulate, which is what I said, mimic, another word. Mimic, simulate human learning, comprehension, problem solving, decision, creativity, autonomy. AI is not a single technology, but it's rather a collection of technologies like machine learning. We are going to learn more. Computer vision, natural language processing, deep learning, which can be combined and to enable computers to perform complex tasks to mimic. See, this is what I was saying. Human intelligence. It's a broad umbrella. We'll see a little bit more to understand that. So, what is this? Artificial intelligence is a technique that allows to mimic human intelligence. What's it? So what is machine learning? Again, it's a subset of AI only. It's a subset where it is looking for patterns from the data that is being from A, you are giving B, but it is able to understand where we talked about unsupervised learning. If you look at it, so it is more or less using that type of technology here. So unsupervised learning, where it is able to understand on its own some of the characteristics and trying to build a logic and models automatically. But again, this has got certain limitations. Over a period of time, when what has happened, neural networks have developed. So with the help of neural networks, if the machine learning is able to do much more deep multi-layered research by using the neural networks like speech and image recognition, that is called deep learning. So if you have to understand this, this is the entire, AI. Within that, if you look at it, this is machine learning, right? Within that, you've got, PL. And within that, you've got generative AI, is what is the last one. So this is again large language models that are pre-trained on vast amount of data, commonly read foundational models. This is where we have got the chat GPT coming in. And because of this generative AI, only we are here. And earlier I showed you the chart I showed you, or the graph that I showed you, where the it was going. Traditional systems were like this. We are having little more neural networks is like this. Medium networks are like this, and large networks is like this. The performance we are talking about. Performance is improving. So this is the reason. So these, if you can represent this like that, also it can be understandable. The performance is improved because of various reasons. So we are today learning all this because of this only culprit. This is a dangerous culprit that is making life, you know, transform like anything. And every sphere of work is getting affected because of generative AI. So in a brief thing, it is going to do things that, which in a very simple humanistic way of understanding things. Earlier codes were there, these were all code related, we were not able to do, humans were not able to do it. But this, we are able to, it will be able to respond to us in a much easier way where we understand in the language in which we understand. That's why this is becoming very popular. Now, some other interesting things. Earlier, what used to happen was like A to B, we used to give the data. We used to use a program, convert some program, and that program used to be fed into the computer and will give me B result. This is the traditional computing that we were following, the traditional computing that we were following, right? Now, but today, AI is different. You give A and you give B, and you ask the computer to give me the program. Understand? An example will be if you want, you are giving your requirements to ChatGPT and you tell this is the result I want. This is the result I want, especially in code, coding. If you want to do, you can tell this is a sample result I want. And based on that, give me a Python code. I will see if I can explain that in an example. If you are able to get it, then it will be good. But if we get time permits, I will show it to you. Uh, how to get a code from ChatGPT. That is what is at present stage. This is, traditional computing, and this is AI computing. Well, how does generative AI work? So this is very important. So what is the first one? AI is given to vast amounts of data of text, image, other data to learn from. Huge amount of data. For example, if you look at sorry, Netflix, what is happening? How they are doing? They have got huge amount of data on movies and all. So as and when you browse, they will capture the your preferences and they are feeding you. Next time when you go, they will tell you this movie you see. They're giving you preferences also, right? So similarly, the whatever models are being used, they have got vast amount of data of text, image, and other things. Then it analyzes, AI analyzes the data to detect patterns. Very important. To try to understand the pattern. We've solved this because when we looked at, the input-output relationship, we saw that we are supervised was being taught, unsupervised is not being taught. But ultimately, when the machine tries to understand the pattern, that is the beauty of generative AI. Then what happens? AI uses this attention to understand the context within the data. And once it is done, it is able to, based on the learned pattern, AI generates a new text. This is very, very important. Earlier, this was not being done. It was creating new data. Earlier, it was not there. So it is creating based on the understanding, it's giving new things. That is why it is called generative AI. It's generating new, things in that. So based on that, you are now, if you're not happy, you can again refine it and again it will give you new again, based on the will. Then finally, if you're happy, then it will give you the final output, which is delivered such as a story or an artwork or an answer. So here there is a refinement process which you can keep doing with the system. So most importantly, you need to understand how does generative AI, what is the meaning of that? It gives you new data, right? Based on the understanding, it is giving you, like the way we do, we understand something, we can create something new completely. That same thing is being done through the system. Now let us look at a small video here, which will give you some idea about it. Sorry. I hope you can hear it. So here, what I want to tell you is that this is all a summary of what we have already learned. Just try to sit back and relax. Okay, that's a brief understanding of whatever we have learned in a video form. So let us move forward. As we already seen, we have already seen, which is initial videos that you know artificial narrow AI, which is machine learning and all, generative AI, which we have just talked about, that is machine intelligence, and what is going to come is the machine consciousness. Well, this is very, very dangerous. That means what is there, which is we are actually unique in this, that we have a consciousness which the with the machines cannot have. But they are talking about the future where you're going to have super AI, where it's going to have its own consciousness. That is basically the emotional quotient, or emotions also are going to come into the picture. That is going to be something really unique. We don't know what, we have to wait and see. So, narrow intelligence is machines imitate human behaviors, specializing in one area to solve the problem. Siri, ChatGPT, Alexa are examples. When our AGI comes into the picture, two machines can continuously learn and are as smart as humans. And the third one, which we're talking about, artificial superintelligence, the machines that are smarter than humans. Be careful. What is going to happen to us all? So again, there are certain examples, narrow AI examples of GST, filing chatbots for clients, general AI, that is virtual CA partner, like AGI as a CFO and all that, which is what we are at the current moment here, where we are at. Now, if you look at this is a super evolving CA, chartered accountant, expert practitioner and all that. We are looking at, I don't know what is going to happen there, right? Now, Some of the important things, what are the things that we understand here is that AI adds intelligence to existing products. AI gets most out of the data, turning into intellectual property, personalizing client and customer experience, improving markets and lead generation, enhancing cybersecurity and data protection, supporting HR and talent acquisition, automated, repetitive, and time consuming. It's all it's not that. These are all we know why we are doing it. These are so many things we are doing. Predictive analysis is very important. This is sometimes very important in industry because when you are doing this, you will be able to avoid certain disasters and things like that. Decision making also is very important because if you are able to get the right decision, which maybe we will not be able to do because the machine will be having a lot of data. Smart documentation, again, document processing, contract review, again, lawyers beware. Lawyers are going to have a problem here. Even CS for that matter, where the contracts are going to be in blockchain. We'll look at it a little bit later. Then boosting legal and regulatory compliance. So these are all some of the important things that AI is going to take over. Now, let us look at the next important thing. So we have discussed a lot of theory and all. Now, DALE, I'm not going to look at because there is going to be a little bit of time, a little shortage of time. So I will just, DALE is something which just creates, pictures and all that, which you can do it. But I'm not getting into that for the time being. I look at ChatGPT, which is what you will also understand, you would have used about it. Now, important thing that we need to understand this term hallucination. Okay. So there is a problem with the ChatGPT or whatever models you are using. What it happens is you don't give correct input. It will start giving you an output which it thinks is right, which may be totally wrong for your purpose. And that is what is called hallucination. So you have to be very careful that the system doesn't hallucinate. That's why it's better to check with two or three, at least two generative AI models, large language models. For example, same thing you can check with ChatGPT as well as your, maybe Claude. Claude also you can check just to see how it is, or Gemini. Gemini is another model. Two models, if you check, then he give you some understanding. But this is something, a dangerous loophole that is going to happen. Now, let us look at how to, do the prompts. So for this, I'm going to go out of this and try to open the Chat GPT window. Now, I hope all of you are aware of the Institute Chat GPT portal where we are going to log in with that. So I'm not going to that. I hope you are knowing about it because that is already people have been using. If you are not knowing, please try to learn it. You have to go to the portal and, Institute ICAI portal and you have to give CA GPT. It will open up and there are so many of the, let me see if I can get hold of one more. Let me see this. I'll just try to ICAI CAGP. So I'll write CAGPT. Login as copy. Now, if you have to log in, what happens is that you need to give your membership number. So my membership number, I'm giving it. I'm sending an OTP that will come into your mobile. It has come. 6258. So now the main page has opened up. Now these are the custom GPTs, what the institute has done. All the standard, all the boards that the institute is committees that are doing it, under that they have created. Even acts and regulations are there. I'm not going to open these now for the timing. All the boards you can check. Those who are not aware of it, they can check it. In journal is there, in guidance note. So many things are there. Apart from that, very interesting. These are also some of the additional things that has come, income tax bill. You can play around with that. Bank audit, then international GPT, industry forum. Very, very interesting. See, different industries, there is data on that. The institute has created a customized GPT. Different industry wise they have done. So if you want to research in a particular industry, you can go here and get and try to play around with that. So I just putting this just to give you an idea, because if you select a particular thing, particular custom GPT, in your GPT it will come automatically. I'll show it to you. You can keep it here. You can tell keep it on the left or something like that. It will be appearing here all the time. You can hide this, or you can bring it when you are working that. So that is what is going to happen. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up some of the this thing that prompt that we will use here. Huh. Now, let me tell you how I have used some of the prompts. This is what happened. That is, at some point of time when GPT, this is a long time back, if not recently, I have wanted to take engagement letter and management represent letters for some of the clients. So what I went here into ChatGPT, and I'm just going to search for that thing, so that we can easily save some time. Because this is a problem a little bit difficult to find it out from what, because I'm not giving the exact prompt here. So we have something here which we can use. So many prompts I would have used over the years. Here, engagement letter and MRL. So what is the prompt that I have given? Let me check. This is something else, but here, see, draft a simple engagement letter and MRL for a trading client for tax audit. The moment I gave, but how did I do? I selected institutes ICAI direct tax GPT. I used that, because under that only I created this, because I wanted a specific for tax audit purpose. That's why I used that. And see, it has given me a beautiful scope, responsibility, fee payment, etc., etc., etc. So beautifully it has given. So that I had to just copy it. If I want, I can management representative. Then you can just change the name or put the date and all. You have got it. See, very nice, right? And if you want, you can. Okay, I had to add something. I said okay, cash balance also you included. Certainly, it said, and again it gave me with the cash balance. Ideally, what you need to do is you have to use each one separately for each type of query that you're using, so that you can have it as a record. Now it says this letter now includes certification of cash balance. Now, please draft a letter from client stating his inability to get the details from supplier required for compliance. That also letter to be given. I have asked for ChatGPT to get that letter for the purpose of getting it in our record, because we are going to come and say we have not got the details. This is a long time back. The last year we got it and done. And this is what I am using it to get it signed by the client. So tomorrow, even if there is a problem, if there is a scrutiny or something, I can say myself saying that to the customer, the client has given me the, because he is not able to get the details. And because of it, I am keeping a record of it with my in my records, that the client has given me a letter like this. Based on this, I am giving this qualification. I'm not too sure about this year how to manage it. We have to check. We have been looking at it. So redraft with inability, and whatever changes I'm doing, I'm getting it. This is an idea of how to use for our purpose. Very important. What is the next prompt that I have given? Let me check. Quality control. Again, that's very interesting, because what has happened is we had to go through, uh, you know, peer review. Now, for that, we have to create a quality control, details, quality control manual. So what we did was, I had to search again. I went use the Chat GPT of CA, especially. There is that quality control manual draft. See, I am not having the details, but it has given me some data based on which I am able to get the quality control manual. Just an example. So many things you can do with this. You have to give the correct prompt, then only you can. Quality policy manual. See, this is the firm name, 37-year-old, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I've got so many articles and things like that. And based on that, it has given me a beautiful quality policy manual. See? And this is good enough. You're able to get it and you're immediately able to get the right one. This I got it from ICAI, Accounting Standards Board. From there, and Auditing and Assurance Standard Boards, from there I've got it. I wanted it in Word document. It has given Word document from where I could, just take a printout. Now, mind you, this Chat GPT Institute CAGPT is available in Chat GPT. That's why it is better to go for the Chat GPT for our purpose, especially this thing. This custom GPT is not available in the other Claude or Perplexity or something like that. It is available only in the Institute model. That's why I prefer this for this type of work. Other things you can use for even the other ones also. Some of them are more better than Chat GPT. The next example is relating to dentist and a payment. I had to inquire something relating to a dentist. One of the clients who was there, he was having some doubt. So I had to ask some question relating to that. So let us see what is the question. See, I have asked a question because I'm a chartered accountant. One of my clients is a dentist who has his own clinic. His total collection of clients is at present 20 lakhs. He only prescribes medicine which is bought by the patients. So he's however, implants and other dental support. So all the details, if you properly give, you will get answer. I have wanted to ask certain things relating to payments made more than 50,000. I have two queries. One of those, please go ahead, it's saying, and I'm asking some more queries. So it's like conversational. So if you do that, what will happen is you will see how beautifully it has given. And I was actually stunned because it gave me all the angles. So not only see, not only GST, it has given even income tax, I think, because this is relating to income tax also. So 44 ADA, how to do it. And, you've got a beautiful, so again, refinement as we saw, generative AI refinement. So I'm refining it. Just now we saw, no? We're refining it to get the correct output. So I got a better answer from it. Then expert, like an expert opinion. Wanted it like an expert opinion. So that also it has given me on this like an expert opinion. So, can imagine what is happening today. Anybody who is, can get the support of ChatGPT and give an opinion. Earlier, it was restricted to certain people. Now you can get a beautiful opinion and give it to the clients and earn money. So that is where we are trying to look at that. Who is going to replace chartered accountants? Nobody. Only chartered accountants who are learning AI are going to replace chartered accountants who are not learning AI. Simple. So client will see this, oh my God, I got a very good opinion. Of course, you have to check. That is very important because sometimes ChatGPT is a dangerous, double-edged sword because you have to be careful. And I hope you know about the Bangalore tribunal issue, which has happened recently, where the tribunal gave a verdict and they depended on ChatGPT to get some judgments. And it was later found out that the judgments were not there at all. It was hallucination, clear case of hallucination, just now what we discussed. So let us look at another interesting example. What is this? Where is it? Oh, here. Concurrent audit. So concurrent audit checklist I wanted to generate because for my articles to do that work, I thought I will ask them to, give a checklist for them to prepare. So I again looked at ChatGPT and just giving you different ways that we can use ChatGPT for our daily use in our office. Concurrent audit. Just identify some of them because, yeah, here. See what how I have given. See, we'll come to that. What I am an article student of firm. We are currently doing concurrent audits for medium branches of bank without any foreign exchange. Kindly provide brief checklist for conducting the audit so that all relevant areas are covered. So, see, immediately cash, teller, deposit and KYC, advance and loans, income and expenditure. This is good enough for the start. Beautifully, they can, as you give this to the student, he will start looking at more things now, right? So just giving you certain interesting. Now, very, very interesting. I want to tell you one more thing. I created one own custom GPT, like I was saying CA GPT. How you can understand how CA Institute has also created. This is a custom GPT for for our firm, which I've created for NRI guidance. What I did, I created my own GPT where I have taken some data which I've got from certain magazines and some material, and I have tried to put it in that. And based on that, I can ask any question. For example, can a, NRI buy agricultural agricultural property? Is there any restriction? Restriction. Let us see what happens. I have specifically told don't go out of the area that I've given. Please use that knowledge. Now see, it's giving me fantastic. No, it's absolutely wonderful. So all the answers is there. So that's good enough for us to work. Similarly, I give you an idea. You can create a chat GPT with during audit season now tax audit. You can create a own chat GPT with the institute guidance note. You can tell your articles to use that to get their clients with their doubts cleared. So that will be very easy. They can talk to the to the chat GPT and get their answers. They will not come and disturb you. Now this is what we have discussed now. Now, one more interesting thing that I want to tell you is about gamma. Where is that gamma? Here, I think here. This is another beautiful tool. So this is also I'll just try to do it. So I'm not going to spend time and uh, so that you are able to understand it much better. Is here where the I want to now that I'm presenting this, I thought, okay, I will tell the this software is called Gamma. It helps you to prepare PPTs for a presentation. If you want, if you give a prompt to it, it will automatically start creating PPTs out of the details that you got. So here, if you look at it, what is the thing that I wanted to create a PPT for this session, though I'm not using it, I just wanted to show it to you. So I have given. So in this, it's not opening. I'm not too sure, but I think we are not. No. Now see, I gave a prompt which I will show it to you. Here it is. And the prompt is here. I think not here. Sorry. Here. Okay. Before that, I just want to cover one important thing is that there is certain rules for creating a prompt because prompt, as I told, is the A. What you're going to get is a B. So if the prompt is not good, you will not get garbage in, garbage out. That is the logic we are talking about. Now, here, when you are going to this, this is I've taken from, I think, Gemini thing. Google has given the way you have to do it. What are the main areas that you need to consider? You have to give your persona. What is the task you're doing? What is the context? What is the format? Here is an example of prompt using all four areas that could go well in a Gmail and Google Docs. You are a program manager in which industry? That is a persona you're giving. Draft and execute what you want to do. Executive summary, email to whom? Based on what is the detail, program, and limit to bullet points. So format also given, context you have given, task you have given, person also you will win. So using this, if you are giving this type of thing, it will give you good results. If you don't do it properly, you will not be able to give good results. Now, what it's saying, you don't need to use all the four in every prompt, but using a few will help. Always remember to include a verb or a command as part of your task. This is the most important component of the prompt. The verb and command, you have to use it. You are a program manager, draft an executive summary of email based on this. So you have to instruct it properly. If you give the A properly, you will give the B properly. Otherwise, you'll get garbage in, garbage out. Simple. That is what we are trying to tell you. Now, another example that I picked up from the Google's direction. I am a CEO giving presentation to an audience. See, at an event, and I want to create detailed outline for my team to get started. I want to include a few important topics, including areas of focus and how a company is innovating with the company initiative and envisioning time for customer QA to end the presentation. Include suggested questions we could ask of a customer from the industry and about how they are using our product to achieve business outcome. See, detailed one. If you are able to give detailed, prompt, it will give you detailed answers. Otherwise, it will not give you properly. One more thing I want to tell you. The same thing, if you are giving to one LLM, like ChatGPT, another one, you will get different results. To the same GPT, X is giving, Y, another person is giving, it will give you to make it similar, but there will be difference. So it is not that it has got a stock answer and it's giving. Based on what you are giving, it is generating its own words and things like that and giving at that point of time, which is what is very important because you need to understand the same prompt. If I'm X is giving, Harish is giving, and it is also giving by Sharath, the answers will be different. If it's a live audience, we can even check it out because it's an online thing. We are not able to do it. But if it's a live audience, this can be tested, very easily. The same prompt is given to two people, it will give you two results. So these are all things that you need to mind. Now, again, for the thing that I was talking about, I wanted to, yeah, this is a prompt I gave today, actually prepared it in the evening. I am a child. What I am wanting to do, I want to create a deck of slides for a 2 hour presentation. The same thing that I just thought I will just create one and see how it comes. I am a chartered accountant who is also an expert in AI and related topics. So I'm giving persona. To whom? To the, it's not that I'm telling Chat GPT that you are this. I'm going to present a 2 hour session on AI for chartered accountants who are not conversant on AI. The topics to be covered are, see, what are the topics? I took it from our course material, whatever is given to you. From there, I only segregated in lines so that the understanding is better. So all these things I put. I need to prepare a deck of 40 PPTs. The topic should be covered using easy pictorial examples like cat, dogs, just remember this, huh? Cats, dogs, to explain supervised, unsupervised learnings, etc. The PPT should be downloadable. So this is what I gave to got to Gamma, and this is the result that I've got. I'm not generating it because I have to. For lack of time, I'm just not doing it. But this entire thing I just copied and put it in the prompt thing in Gamma and see how it has come. Why this matters, everything, whatever we are discussing, all the things have come here. It's reasonably good. I am not saying it is perfect, but that's where you have to give new prompts and keep improving it. Supervised learning. See, it's showing cats and dogs. See, I had given the command, it's showing cats and dogs. See how it is coming. Training first, learning first, unsupervised, again cats and dogs. It's very interesting, right? So, absolutely. Then there's machine learning, deep learning, which we discussed. All these things are being given in a different format. But only problem is I asked for 40 slides, but it is only given me 10 because this is, if you want that, you have to go for a paid one, which I don't have at the moment. So I got only 10 prompts. Master AI prompt, what is it saying? Now see, help me with tax planning, weak prompt. Strong prompt. For a manufacturing company with a 2 million revenue, recommend tax efficient strategies for equipment purchase before year end, considering Section 179 and deduction limits. Best practice. Include context, specific numbers, decide outcome, relevant regulations or standards. So then it is a best practice for you. Giving you everything. Now, these are things that we have not discussed, but I'm just telling you that all these things it has taken into consideration and given me a beautiful PPT in the shortest time. Within 5 minutes, it gave it. To prepare such a PPT is going to be, time consuming, probably 2 days, but just see how fast we are getting it. Again, prompt is very important. Okay. Now, let's go back to our thing. So, DALI, I'm not covering it because all we cannot cover, but I think a gamma I have covered, which is at the end, but I have covered that. Now, these are other concepts that we need to learn. What is robotic process automation? These are concepts which are in there already for some time. Certain processes are being put as, automation. In fact, Institute has got in the digital assurance board, they are running a course on robotic process automation. I registered, but I could not complete it. I somehow could not, somehow missed out on that. Maybe at later point, I'll do. Just to understand the concept. Now, you need to don't have to do too much about it. I will tell you some RPAs that I have used, but it is, I have not been, I've been lazy enough to spend time on that, but I've tried it. It has worked also. What is it? It's a computer coded software, programs that replace human performing repetitive tasks. So if you look at it, repetitive rule-based tasks, cross-function, cross-application of macros, walking, talking. It doesn't. What does it doesn't do? It doesn't walk, talk, etc. Physically existing machines, no. Processing paper, no. Artificial intelligence or voice recognition, it doesn't. What it can do, it can open emails and attachment, logging into web enterprises, moving files and folders, copying, pasting, filling forms, scraping data, connecting to APIs, calculations, extracting, collecting social media statistics, and so on. There are lot of RPAs available. One of the easiest one for you to try is Power Automate. Power Automate. The desktop version is very good. If you are able to take that, or the cloud version is also there. Both versions are better to go for the cloud. What you can, I have done what I used to long time back is I would have done about 3, 4 years back. I created a flow, it's called flow, to send email to certain people at a particular date of a month from a data that I have put in Excel. So what it will do is you can draft the letter in such a way that the email in such a way that that letter email that on a particular day it will generate the email, and in that certain data will be picked up from this Excel, and that data will be put in the email and it will be sent to whom it has to be sent. All those things can be done so that every month. So I can give you a practical example, like you are calling your clients to send the GST data on a monthly basis. You don't have to do that. You just have to use Power Automate and just create, send emails or even WhatsApp messages. I've not tried WhatsApp, but WhatsApp messages also, you can easily do it using this because there is an API integration that happens with, email, Gmail or Hotmail or even WhatsApp, where it can easily, you know, go and attach to that particular software and send it to the clients on a particular time using the data from the Excel that you keep in Excel or any data, any from anywhere. It can be even from your SAP system or whatever it can pull in, provided you give the access to it. So that is what is RPA. Very, very important. So mind you, what is happening is what took so much time of our time to call clients and all, this emails are going or WhatsApp reminders are going and it is happening easily. So if you are, for example, in the Excel file, you are updating who has all given the data for, GST. So what you can do is once they have given, you can put yes there. Not means it will be no. So it will automatically say wherever no is there, it will take that and send the details or the email or a WhatsApp to the client. Wherever no is there, yes means it will not do anything. So that type of configuration you can do. It's really helpful. We have to actually try it out. It's not difficult. Now, what is happening, mind you, in these RPAs, actually at the back end, there are a lot of coding is happening. We are not knowing it. We are only giving our requirements. We are giving in simple language, simple English prompts. Prompts are actually, it is iterative. One by one, it will tell you, do this. Once you do that, this is converted into program. It can be, I think it is a Python program that happens in Power Automate at least. Using that, will give the result, and that will happen to come to whatever you are asked it to do, it will happen. And that's how it happens. Again, we are talking about A and B. How important it was for us to understand that initially, right? Now, RPA and AI comparison. AI, it is simulation of human thinking. This is automation of sorry, repeatable process and tasks. What it can do, AI, it understands documents, conversation, language. What it calls structured, semi-structured, unstructured data. Whereas here, what happens, it only takes structured data. Open, read, write, copy, paste, log into applications and all. But it needs structured data. Here you see structured, semi, and unstructured. We have all seen these terminologies. Now, what it does AI? Pros, what are the good things? Pattern prediction, learns from success and failures, can handle variable process. Reduce cost, better utilization, this is the thing. But what is the cons? Expensive to develop, iteration, scalability of organized wide to be considered, not so expensive, process specific, new technology. We need conclusion. We need RPA for process before it can be implemented wide, organization wide. RPAs alone cannot help organization to automate. So you need AI, especially in today's world. This is more important. RPA is definitely doing the job, but AI is far more, superior to it. This we are not looking at. Again, it's a RPA. What is this? It actually helps you to create an RPA with no code. As I mentioned, I have mentioned about Power Automate. There's another thing which we mentioned. It helps you to do the code and do the low code platform. Because I've not tried the Llama code, that's why I'm not able to tell you much about it. Power Automate is, I have used it, that's why I'm able to tell you about it. Now, the next important concept is blockchain. So, before we go into blockchain, you just have to understand a bit of it before we go into that. Some of the important terminologies that we're looking at is in blockchain is, let us look at it. Blockchain, again, Institute has got, I think DAB has got again a course on blockchain also. You can try it out if you're interested because on a day-to-day basis, it will not come, but the technology is good to understand, right? How does the blockchain work? Just 1 second. Mm, Okay, we'll proceed further because if there is a thing, we'll continue again. But how does it work? So, it, if you request a transaction, there's a request transaction. Now, what is happening here is this: there are four participants, suppose, imagine. They're all having their ledger accounts. Normally, we have in the ledger two entries, debit and credit. But here, everybody who is having a ledger. Transaction broadcast to P2P network of consisting of nodes. It is being sent the details. Now what has happened? There is a validation check, validation of transaction, and all of the parties have to accept the transaction. Verified transaction can include records or contracts. Once it is verified, then a block is created. Once the verification is over, a block is added in the ledger. And what happens? These are the existing blocks. To that, this block is added from here. Newly added block joins the existing. Now, when this is added to that, none of the parties, party A, B, C, T, who are participating in the blockchain, they cannot refuse or say that, no, no, I don't know about it. They all are aware of this block being added. That is the advantage of blockchain because then there is the truth is only one. The truth is only one. Everybody looks at it from that angle. Therefore, this is a beautiful way of avoiding litigation. Now, recently I heard that I think Gujarat or some state, they are now implementing land reforms using blockchain. That means all the land records will be in blockchain. What is going to happen? Suppose the party is here, maybe the owner of the property, this may be the registrar, this may be bankers, and this may be somebody else. So whenever a transaction is happening, they are not knowing everything. This may be the seller, say, I'm just telling you. The purchase is happening between two people. So all these people are involved. So any change that is happening in the record also is updated. So tomorrow the buyer wants to take a loan, he doesn't have to go for valuation or LSR, legal scrutiny report, because everything the banker also knows about it. Banker means not one banker, it may be the banking association or whatever. They can just refer to that and make sure that this property which is shown in the blockchain is original. So therefore, here is a problem for lawyers, valuers. I don't know. After some time, it may come because the value is determined based on the value that is there. There's nothing to valuation to do. So if everything is there, that's not required. These are changes that are happening. And mind you, banks are also, I am aware of a certain bank where they have started. I mean, so many people are working in this department of blockchain. Already they are using blockchain for certain transactions at LC and all, they are using blockchains. And other areas they're slowly developing. Again, the idea is to make sure that things are happening much better way. Now transaction is complete here, which is also. So how does it actually work? So here is a hash that is created, the first hash. Now this hash, the previous hash is not there. When second is created, this is the previous hash. Again, new hash is created. So data is hash to hash of the previous block. Both put together will be the data. Again, when third one is coming, this is a new hash, this is the old hash. So from the old hash, it is connected to the previous hash. So that's why it is getting connected. That is what is the sign that is given. One to the third, each one is connected. That is why it's called blocks. These are the blocks, but there is a chain also. So these are blocks are all block one, block two, block three are all connected. That is the idea behind it. That's why it's called blockchain. What are the components? Immutability. You cannot, transaction cannot be edited, deleted, reversed. P2P network, that is decentralized mechanism to conduct transaction between members without third party. Transactions recorded can be viewed by anyone in that, you know, in the P2P network. Distributed ledger, a shared database of all records can be accessed by the participants. Validity of rules, set of rules that can execute automatically once conditions are met. Cryptography. Cryptography is very important. All the transactions are on cryptography really safe. So there's no problems of anybody tampering with it. There is transparency and consensus between parties. That is what brings all this. So it's very useful and things are happening very fast in that. In fact, RBI is pushing for it to the banks, especially the banks. It is pushing a lot for doing a lot of things in the uh, in the blockchain concept. There is an example. What has happened is that Walmart is actually using the all their movements using for mangoes. In the US, the time needed to trace the provenance of from 7 days to 2.2 because they have started using blockchain from the produce to the meat to the dairy farm to multigrain, all these things, how it is moving from the producer to the ultimate consumer they're having. So if there is a issue, sometime back there was an issue with a particular product, and earlier it used to take 7 days to identify from where Walmart has got it. But today they can identify it in 2.2 seconds. Very important. Similarly, pharmacy, very important. Pharmacy is very important. So what happens in pharmacy, from who is the which batch it came, so that if there is an issue in any medicine that is being sold, immediately they can identify the batch. So these are things that is being done. I believe GST is also in blockchain only. Now let us look at World Wide Web 3.0, right? So 3.0 is a very interesting. Web 3.0 is the next revolution that is happening. Okay. What is it? It's the next revolution of internet. So first one was what? Read only. First stage, simply web, millions connected to it. Simple, normal. Even today, a lot of people are using like that. The second web point 2.0, where read and write also happened. Second stage of social web, that is social, this thing is coming, where billions of people are coming. So see, from million, it has become billion, especially because of your social networks. This has increased a lot, like WhatsApp, your Facebook, or your Instagram, all these things. And the next thing which is going to come is, see, it was read only, read and write. Then now read, write, and execute also is being added. The third stage of semantic web, trillions of knowledge is going to be done. From millions, it's going to be, again, this is what is the understanding. Data, data, data. Data is going increasing, increasing, because of which you see from millions, it's become billions to trillions. And what is the thing? This is being converted into knowledge by all these machines. Plus, commercially also, if you look at it, for people to advertise and get to give you, sell or marketing certain products which you are interested, they are giving more. The day will come when everybody will know everything about everybody. That is, whether you like it or not, I don't know. I personally don't like it. I want to keep my personal life separately, but it is very difficult today. It's not easy because if you're using a mobile, if you check it, I don't know your Google Map. If you have turned off the location, it is keeping track of you. Google is keeping track of you, and you can easily find out, the entire thing where you have traveled, on which day, where you were. It's all getting recorded. So your personal space is not there. Some people record it like that. They are happy with it because they have a footprint everywhere. So let us understand what is this. Web 3 is the next evolution of internet, often referred to as the decentralized web. It builds on the current Web 2.3, enhancing with technologies that enable greater useful control, privacy, and peer interactions. It is defined by open source technology utilizing blockchain. So this is what blockchain will in. So Web3 will be more on blockchain and give greater control to the end user because you can read, you can write, you can execute also. That's very interesting. What are the technologies that are coming? Now, comparisons of Web 1, you have Yahoo, AOL, Excite, Google, etc., etc. Now, this is more all Facebook has come. See, Instagram has come, YouTube has come. What you can identify. There are a lot of other icons are there, but Snapchat and or Skype, I think, WhatsApp. See, these are all recognizable, and so many other things have come. This is, I think, Snapchat, I think, it's called. Or what? So there are a lot of things that are happening in this, right? Now, third one is web trust. This is read write trust. This is what happens. These are new things already there. See, Cartango and all that. I'm not too familiar with that. These are all happening, especially you can see this is in what? This is the crypto. Crypto is, I forgot to tell you, crypto is on blockchain. Bitcoin is on blockchain. All these are already there in blockchain, right? That is all under 3.0. This is not very interesting. I will just skip for the time being. Cloud computing. We'll come to that. Just give me a minute. I'll just, for a minute, I'll just hold on. So if you're able to, let us look at move further. So here, what is cloud computing? As we discussed a little bit initially, but let us look at it. So here, what is happening is that what are the features of cloud computing? Here, we instead of having the entire data with you, you are pooling the resources and you are going to use it only on demand. Only on demand you are going to use. It is easy on maintenance. It's large network access. Availability is there, right? As and when you need. Automatic systems are there, economical, security, very important. Because if you have a local system, what happens is that you don't have to you have to worry about the security because some hacking comes up, then it will become a problem for you. So in that case, it becomes a dangerous thing for you to have your own machines because you have to provide the antivirus and things like that. Whereas if you're putting in the cloud, you don't have to worry. Suppose your data is in AWS or something like that. Obviously, you don't have to worry because they will take care of it and they are bigger players. They will take care of the security very well and you have to pay as you use it. That means how much you use, you can do it. And there is a service that is being measured and based on which the payment has to be made. So this is some features of cloud computing. Now, I don't know. I mean, if you look at it, there are so many examples that is coming which are there. Uh, Of course, if banks and all they are maintaining in the cloud only. For us, people who are small practices, it's going to be very difficult for us to do it. But what you can try is the best use for you is to use OneDrive because that is very useful. OneDrive or Google Drive you can use so that you can put all your data there. Now, these are some of the models of computing. Very interesting. Please try to understand. On-site. When it is on-site, all the blues are what the client is in control of. Cloud computing is the backbone of digital age, meaning it provides the essential infrastructure and foundation for most of the technology and digital operations. Now, on-site means everything is here. So everything is you manage. Now let us look at IaaS. What is IaaS? Infrastructure as a software, as a service, right? Where the entire thing, these ones are all being managed by the client. I mean, we are doing it. This is done by the provider of that service. Virtualization, server, storage, network, and all is given by the service provider. They are managing it. You don't have to worry about it. Now, when it comes to platform as a service, you the person is that means you have to manage only application and data. The rest entire thing will be provided by the service provider, right? The next one is SaaS, software as a service. All the everything is maintained the by the whom? By the service provider. So when service provider is going to do that, then you can imagine what is going to happen. It's much comfortable. You don't have to worry. Only, of course, you have to pay for it. Definitely, that issue is there. So in that case, what happens is that you are able to, you know, take care of all these issues. Now let us move to the next one, internet. Internet of Things. So what has happened over the years is because networks have come in, the devices that we are being used is also getting integrated. One of the things, because through the cloud service, it is getting integrated to various devices that we are using. See, how is it? The user is using devices. It is going through a connecting to a network. Of course, security is there. It is having a gateway and it is attending the cloud. And this is generating the applications. This through the applications, the user is connecting to the devices. For example, the some of the thing where suppose your AC which you have got. Suppose it's connected, it is a IoT device. Then what happens? Using your mobile before coming to home, you can switch it on. The IoT, it is an IoT device. That's why using a mobile, you are able to control the AC. So that is an IoT device. That's an example of it. Similarly, so many equipments, even cars now, because they are connected cars, so that is also being, connected to the internet, and through that you are able to operate it. So if, even before getting into the car, you can use your this thing and to start the cooling process. Just examples I'm saying. Now see, these are another example of these wearable devices. See, wearable device. IndusInd Bank, what they have done is, instead of taking out your card to swipe, they are using a wearable. They have given a watch which you can use it and just show it. Similarly, smart sportswear. Smart sportswear, there's a company called Bablot. So Bablot, what it's saying is that it is the rackets and all, or the say, for example, a bat. Bat, of course, they don't sell. They are mainly into tennis rackets. Bat, suppose if the cricket bat is having a chip, it will record all the movements that you are doing, and it will analyze it and give you the result as to how you are playing. It will analyze your play method. You can give it to somebody who can check it and give you the results. Similarly, you got Zolo hotels. These are examples of that, where hostels, they are smart electric meters. So instead of having a fixed charge to be charged, according to the use, according to the use of it, it'll switch off when it is not there. When people are not there, it will not start off. It will only start when people are around. Like that, so many things can be fixed in that, so that you can reduce the electricity cost. Sensors can be put which will make sure that it is only used when people are there, and when the night is there, it will automatically come down, and so many things are can be done. These are examples. You can try it out and Google it and see. We don't have time to look at it, so I'm not going into that. Otherwise, if it was possible, we could have done. This is also very interesting. Sky drones. because these drones are being used for so many purposes. Even drones are being used for farming purpose, and so many, if even physical count, drones are being used. Then, of course, you've got connected cars. So many things we have known. Tesla started it, and now slowly a lot of this thing are using connected cars for that. Where again, it is IoT. It is an IoT because it's corresponding with the net and getting the details, trying to understand, use the trying to drive the car. Even somebody is coming in to be able to identify that and stop it. This we have already discussed. Gamma. You see, I'm not getting into that. So more or less, I've covered all the areas that we needed to do, and I think I have done reasonably justice to what we have been discussing today. And I hope you are good. You are now get some idea about the basic chapter, which is the chapter on these details, where is there module one, which we have discussed in detail. So if you have any queries, you can always get back to me. I will send you the email ID to which is you can write down. It is Q Murali Krishnan at hotmail.com. I'll just write it again because it's not clear. Q Krishnan at hotmail.com. You can always send me your queries and we can definitely chat up. Thank you very much for the patient hearing. And I definitely hope that we will meet again at some point of time and carry forward the discussion. Thank you. Thank you very much.